This is the cheapest and fastest corrupted dungeon clearing build basically in the game. Now, when I say cheapest and fastest, that's what I mean combining both. There are faster builds and there are cheaper builds, but not a build that is both cheap and fast. And so this entire set cost me 28,000 silver. And this is full loot Stalker difficulty, by the way. We have the Curse Staff. We're going to be running the Curse Tar. And Flat 4 can now use this ability. And that's why it's so dang cheap. With the first passive, we're going to be using the Mage Cowl. With the Aggression, we're going to use Cleric Robe with Everlasting Spirit and Soldier Boots. Or any plate boots with Rejuvenating Sprint. Also a torch, a regular cape, a regular bag, and a cabbage soup. That's all we got. You can even make it cheaper by replacing the horse with the mule if you want. So I'm going to eat the soup and let the timer begin. It's about 1 minute into the video. Let's look where the bosses are. There is a boss there, and there. So we're gonna go down into the right and loop around, I guess. Well, this one's a little annoying to get to. But let's kill everything along the way. And so the way this build works is pretty simple. You want to cast your Curse Explosion or your Death Curse on a target, and then puddle them. And against weaker mobs, you just AoE them down, you cast Laser Beam, and they melt pretty quick. Now, your health will regenerate very quickly over time because of the cabbage soup. So you can just stand in enemy attacks. You don't have to be evasive. You don't have to be elusive or any of that kind of stuff. You can just puddle the enemy, run up to them, fire breath them, you know, laser them, and then their whole group will just melt from the laser's AoE attack. And if they do a big AoE attack, then you can just use your Cleric Robe offensively, because when you have that shield, you're dealing more damage. So basically, that's pretty much it. And for bosses, you just make sure there's always a puddle under them. Anytime your Fire Breath is off cooldown, anytime your Death Curse is off cooldown, anytime your puddle is off cooldown, you're casting it on the boss, and you're just weaving in auto attacks. When your Death Curse is on cooldown, you cast your Death Beam. Alright, and then again, I can just throw out puddles whenever I want, Death Curse it when it's again off cooldown. I don't use the Cursed Beam while the enemy has a Death Curse on them, or the Curse Explosion, whatever you want to call it. The reason why is the Laser Beam here, the Cursed Beam, will eat your stacks of curses, making your explosion deal less damage. So that's basically it. And then I just boots between, you know, bosses or whenever I want to run fast. I don't really use the boots to regenerate HP. You shouldn't need to. And then again, I just Death Curse into puddle. And this guy's like gonna die. He's just gonna die from the explosion, right? So I want to make sure that I'm within range so that he doesn't de-aggro and I get, you know, kill credit. There we go. I actually missed the puddle on this guy, so I've got to actually sit here and hit him just a bit, just whack him a few times. Go ahead and open with Death Curse, open with puddle, maybe auto attack this guy. I'm going to laser him anyway, just to kind of show you how it wouldn't finish him off, because the laser ate some of the curse stacks, and the more curse stacks on the enemy, the more the Curse Explosion does. I know I'm kind of rattling and going a little bit fast here, but, you know, it's just to kind of show you, I'm not even clearing as fast as I normally could either. So let's just boots through this. Go ahead and Fire Breath these guys. Go ahead and start lasering. Now, he did interrupt my laser. And again, I'm getting pulled into mobs, pulled into explosions. I'm stepping on traps. Doesn't matter, because by the time I'm out of combat, my health is pretty much fully regenerated. Like, look at this. I'm walking into the boss room at full HP. So there we go. Curse into puddle. Weave some autos, cast another puddle, cast a Fire Breath, wait for him to explode. Now, I can't laser here because I have to dodge his spells, but I could just, you know, Cleric Robe and then do it. Got another Death Curse, so still no laser yet. And then we're just, again, we're just playing evasive here. There we go. Now I can start lasering, and that's when the damage starts really cranking. Hit him with another Fire Breath, and yeah, he's just going to melt. I'm going to start walking towards the chest. Blue chest, there we go. 8k, not the best. The loot's really bad now in these dungeons. Also, I try to get it where I can route it so that I'm fighting the final boss of the dungeon, the big one in the middle here, before I'm actively fighting the third smaller boss. Usually, most of the time, that's how the layout's kind of determined. You can also, you know, frog hop there with the explodey toads, whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. I don't know their official name. I can just ignore this guy. There we go. He's going to pop. Go ahead, fire breath into laser, and then he's gonna melt. Get this guy cursed up with a puddle. He's gonna run at me. He's gonna cast all those little spells. Hit him with another puddle and a laser. This will just take him out. Easy peasy. Alright. So we're gonna puddle all of these dudes. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna puddle a second time. I'm gonna shield into my W so I can't be pulled, I can't be interrupted, and that's just gonna melt these guys. There we go. Alright, so I need to kill one more enemy, and then the boss will spawn, which would be this guy, I believe. I'm pretty sure they give 10 infamy, I think. Let's see, yeah, there we go. So we timed it just perfectly. We're walking into the boss room right when we summoned him. And when the boss is summoned, you can't be invaded anymore. So you don't have to worry about a player invading you when the boss is summoned. You have all the time in the world to kill the boss, and, you know, again, we can just dodge his attacks. We're dealing damage as we throw puddles. So there we go. Make sure that we have him plant these little fire thingies down. Gonna go ahead and laser him a bit. He's gonna explode. We're gonna walk close. Drop another puddle. Drop a death curse, fire beam. Step out of the way of his little attacks there. And again, we're just gonna keep stacking these curses on him, and finally hit him with the laser. Looks like we got hit by that. That's fine. We can kind of shield that. He's gonna slap us. It's not gonna do anything. And you can use your boots to dodge these too. You don't have to play it perfectly. You can tank quite a few hits before any of these main bosses kill you. But there we go. Go ahead and grab that loot. And now we still have one more boss to grab before we go to the next floor. We got a purple chest, 43k. Do we want to upgrade our gear at all? And at this point, we totally could if we want to, but I don't really want to. None of this is useful. We've already made our money back in silver. If I use that, that's 29,000. Our equipment's only 28,000. So we're now at the break-even stage. There's a boss all the way over there, and I'm going to run and get it because it's basically a free boss. But you can see here, we literally cleared the dungeon in 6 minutes. Now, if we had a better layout, I would be able to kill this boss fairly quickly. And if I wasn't rattling and prattling on for a YouTube video, then clearly, very clearly, we would have that third boss down, but it's whatever. Again, this is like a really terrible route, so it's really hard to do this route fast. But hey, still, you know, clearing the dungeon, not being invadable in 6 minutes, pretty darn good. And I could be popping these chests, you know, for loot. Sometimes you get the 20k treasures out of them, but I'm not really in it for the money anymore. I can just walk straight through these. I can even shield myself through these if I want. Don't really need to. It's kind of a waste, really. Now, that guy might be yoinking, so we're going to run out of range. These guys might yoink, so we're going to run out of range of that. And, yeah, he's going to yoink. So, I actually might get downed from this. Maybe. Nah, that should be fine. Alright, so we're trying to de-aggro everyone but the big boy here. So, Death Curse him into Puddle, into Fire Breath. And I'm not being invaded. This is just having crit health. It's fine. Like I said, we have the soup to heal us, and there we go. So now we just go next dungeon, and we just do it again. And I like to do it until my food buff runs out, or I get some really good juicy loot. And again, I don't click on this shrine to activate PvP. Most meta builds counter the hell out of us in this dungeon. So it looks like I want to take the long route this way to clear to this guy. So I'm just going to go ahead and puddle these dudes. Maybe try to get this third guy here, get him tagged in. There we go. And then he's going to be our laser target. So we're going to melt the other two guys. He's going to slowly melt alongside them. And we can just finish them with a few autos. Let's try to speedrun this one a little bit faster. A little bit more efficiently, I guess. I mean, because we can. Why not? That's the whole point of this build, is that it costs nothing and it's super quick for clears. So you're getting your PvE fame. You're getting your infamy up without having to rely on some stupid meta build that takes forever to clear dungeons. Like I feel bad for the people that run like Great Hammer and stuff, because that stuff takes forever to clear. And yeah, it's really good to fight players with, absolutely, right? But the reality is that if you get no invasions, you're just kind of stuck twiddling your thumbs, waiting for players to queue up and fight. And if you don't get matched against anyone, you're just out of luck. But you can see here that I am just absolutely slapping just the enemies down. I'm fully healed while I do it. We're, you know, just going boss to boss, collecting loot. Nothing good, sadly, but hey, it's still there, right? So there we go. Wait for that curse to pop. And then we can be cheeky. We can hit our shield and then laser him so we're standing, dealing tons of damage with that laser. It's just really nice. We got him down to half HP, hit him with that Death Curse once again, throw another puddle down, and yeah, there we go. Throw that next puddle down, and then we can laser him after the curse pops, killing him. There we go. He only got one fire wave off. Aw, tome chest, boo. Boo to the tome chests. Those things suck. Alright, go ahead and sprint to the next battle. And you can straight up just use your laser without them being in a curse puddle if you want. Especially like on these weaker mobs, you can just puddle them anyway. They're just gonna die. They're just gonna straight up die from the puddle, right? Like, Death Curse into puddle. Let's move into melee range so that he gets the 4 stacks. There we go. Now this guy's gonna jump as soon as we attack him, or I thought he does. Maybe not. So, yeah, this guy clearly doesn't. We're gonna curse this guy. Puddle him, auto attack this dude, fire breath him, and then everyone's just partying down. I don't even need to go that direction. So there we go. So let's pop shield so we can pop laser. I love doing the cleric robe into laser because it just buffs your damage so freaking much. Also, this guy almost, you know, stopped standing in the death puddle. Almost. I walked into that trap, not looking. Wasn't paying attention, right? So this is absolutely an activity you can do while you watch anime and not care. The screen flashes bright red when you get invaded anyway, so all you do is, if you want to try to fight, you can. I usually try to fight because, I mean, it's a 28k set. If I die, whoop-de-doo, right? I don't really care about my infamy rating. You know, sometimes you have an interesting fight, you get a win, it's pretty cool. Most of the time you fight some meta dork, like dual swords or something, and you just get melted. It's like, there's nothing you can do. Statistically, like, you're gonna lose 70% of the time, like, with this build. 70% loss rate, okay? It is not meant for winning fights, alright? The problem with this game about builds that win you fights is that they're slow clearing. I hate that. It's like you're either good at killing monsters or players, but not both. Alright, there we go, got the blue chest. And again, we kill 2 mobs, we summon the main boss. 13 tomes, gross. So what I'm gonna do is kill these guys, run to this boss, run to the middle. That's my routing. So we're gonna go ahead, Death Curse this guy. There we go. Make sure he stands 4 stacks in the puddle. 1 auto finishes him off. There we go. Then normally I would just kill 1 enemy so I don't get invaded here, but I'm just gonna run to the boss because I'm just gonna gamble that I'm not gonna be invaded. You really should have, like, I really should have just killed 1 more enemy, but it would make the video interesting if we did get an invade, but probably won't. Alright, hitting them with the laser. There we go. Alright, we can just stand outside of the range of this. That's the cool thing about Curse Staff, is you outrange a lot of the boss's stupid explosions. Breathe fire on them. Alright. So yeah, you guys get the build, you get how it works, you get how it operates, you get how fast it is. Let's see if we get any juicy loot. 11k, I mean, a lot of this is just garbage drops. Like, we got 47k in loot in 13 minutes. It's not the best for loot. And you know what? Let's take the upper path to get to the boss. Why not? Avoiding all these little goobers. So, yep, run into the boss. Oh boy. Not much else to do except finish the boss. And again, you could continue until your food buff runs out. I can usually do about four runs, sometimes 5 if the layouts are really juicy. And like at the same time, if I loot a chest, it's got like 200k in it, which does happen from time to time. Then I just leave the dungeon and then go back. And usually there's no gankers because I do this outside of Caerleon. Let's just burn our boots, get in there. Alright, this time we have the fire bro, which the cleric robe is really good for. This build is really good for because we can move while he casts his stupid spells. Like this right here, we just cleric robe that into our own laser, so it's like a counter. It's like we're in a fighting game, right? Go ahead and death curse him there. Move out of the way of his explosion once again. He's doing the flame roulette something or other. I don't know the official names of spells, but yeah. Don't want to stand in the fire circles. But he has to stand in our curse circles, so that's the fun thing, right? We're basically like build for build match, except mine's shadow and he's fire. go ahead and just, you know, wrap it up here. And don't worry about mana. Mana is not a problem with this build. You can see that I'm basically infinite mana the whole time. Alright, so he's down. I like to check the boss for a little bag there. No bag. We got a chest. Purple chest? Yeah, purple chest. Alright, 22k. Again, no good loot at all. But hey, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And then, you know, like, let's say we got some good loot, you know, some fat loot. I go to the surface, and then this is the stressful part, because obviously to do the full loot Stalker Corrupted Dungeons, you have to enter from a full loot zone. So, what I do is, because I enter it from Caerleon, there's 3 gankers on the map, so there's none on my screen, so I'm just going to R back, because I could run from here to here. This is Caerleon. I do enter from Caerleon. I don't go to the black zone. The black zone has way more gankers. And, you know, like, I'm pretty close up here. If I get ganked, I could maybe run there and get a shield. Maybe get away. You just gotta have a plan before and after you leave. But, yeah. That is, once again, the cheapest and fastest corrupted build. And I know I've made similar videos before with the similar items, except back in the day, you had to use a tier 6 curse staff. And those things were like 50, 60k each. And now they're 2,000, so... yeah, it's way more accessible now. Yay! Anyway, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. You know, what's your favorite corrupted dungeon build, and how fast can you clear it, and how cheap is it? That's what I care about, is being cheap. And I don't care that I have a billion, you know, liquid assets, you know, stashed away in this game. I'm gonna go cheap every single time, forever, alright? Click the video on the right side of your screen. And if you do, then you're going to get extra nuggets or chicken tendies next time you go out to eat. You're, like, you know, you order like a 4-piece chicken tendy meal, you're going to get a 5-piece. They're just going to give you an extra one. It'll be awesome.